friends from the manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the April 2025 new releases for manga. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell internationally. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on there. And if this is your first time visiting our videos, we'll start off with our personal picks. We'll go into some highlights, including some volume one highlights, and then we'll leave you with the rest of the list of continuing volumes that you don't want to miss out on for the month of April. So we'll go ahead and get started here on our picks. And actually, the first step is me. I
Yep.
obviously had to choose this one because vampires need breaks too. So we have a vampire in the bathhouse. This is a full story in one volume. So this is great if you're just looking for like a self-contained title. We have Luca, who is your picture perfect vampire. He's good looking, he's regal, but he's usually incredibly hungover and exhausted and wants nothing more than to change the pace of his routine. So he takes a peek into the human world. What are the humans doing? So he finds out there's a cure that he's looking for. And that cure is a relaxing Japanese bathhouse. And he thinks that this will cure him of his hangover. It would just rejuvenate him from head to toe. And so to blow like out this fatigue into the water, Luca pays a visit to this full moon baths, which is the bathhouse, and the eldest son of the bathhouse is named Sakura. But between the bathhouse being so short staffed and Sakura having to take care of his like little brother, he has like so much to worry about than this bougie vampire that is complicating all of that.
Yeah,
So this sounds really fun, and I was very much struck by the cover and the rubber duckies, and so this is one of my picks for this month.
very cool. All
Who's
right,
what's next?
and we continue with one of my picks.
Great.
It's
Mm-hmm.
coming up. This is the God Playing Demon King #1. This is written by Eso Tun. Sorry for mispronouncing that. Pick third and Teddy. Character design by Teddy, art by Pick Third. And this is from Square Enix, and is a story. It's a action adventure fantasy story of a world where there's been war for centuries, and finally, at the end of it, the one demon king, uh, Hiram is sort of this demon that wins over all the rest and becomes the one true demon king because he's the strongest. But, being a demon and demon king, he wants more, so he decides to go against the demon god. And of course, after fighting for days, still he's not enough. He's not strong enough to defeat the demon god. But he was smart, and he before the fight took place, he put in place this enchantment that if he were to lose, he would just like disappear and show up again or reincarnate 500 years in the future, uh, where um, the demon god was no longer in power. And he is reincarnated in a world full of humans. Humans are in power, and he reincarnates as a human. And he's but even though humans do not have the powers of demons, he sees that there's a lot of potential. So he starts training and starts looking for the demon god to fight him again and defeat him. This is a full-on fantasy adventure action manga. The premise is not new. This is for fans of sort of like demon lord, demon king, overpowered reincarnation or that kind of thing story. I mean, the one that recently comes to mind is Demon Lord 2099, but that one is funny. This one does I'm sure there's comedy in it, but it's not about that. It's about the action. It's about the fights, and it promises to be visually very beautiful, and the fight scenes to be extremely um, very what's the word I'm looking at? Very cool. Let's just say cool and awesome. So I love these kind of stories. I love how in manga and Japanese culture in general, they kind of the way they present demons. Now it's not like on Western cultures. We tend to just like, nope, complete evil. I'm sure you're gonna see the heart inside of a demon in this kind of story. And as you can see by this cover, like I said, the art is gonna be amazing. We're gonna get a volume 2 and 3 later this year. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is right up my alley. I love this kind of thing.
Next up, we have Idol X Idol Story Volume 1. We have Mimi, who's this college student who works at a part time at a convenience store. She was an aspiring idol but abandoned her dream because her group failed to make it big, and so she kind of resolved herself to be like, maybe this doesn't work out for me. But then we have Ibuki, who is this rising star who is very much inspired by Mimi's past. And so their unexpected encounter has reunited Mimi's passion for the spotlight. And so together they decide to audition together for this high stakes idol competition show. And so, can they achieve their dreams together and forge this unbreakable bond in this industry that very much sort of pits them against each other in this intense rivalry that may tear them apart? And so, very much interested in this title. So, my pick for April.
Yes. Um. Sorry. Lost my place. All right. So this is Toxic Daughter Titan by Shuzo Oshimi. And if you don't know, Shuzo Oshimi is, the creator of a lot of manga, horror, mostly manga, that is, it's well known, especially for Flowers of Evil. And I've talked about Shuzo Oshimi and some of his stuff in these videos before. I think most recently, Happiness. I talked about Happiness that was also created by him. But this one is very interesting because this is a prequel to a movie that came out last year in Japan, obviously a horror movie, uh, called Toxic Daughter, and actually I think it actually is supposed to be a poison daughter. That's the actual literal translation. But then for, you know, American purposes, we translate it to Toxic Daughter. And that is directed by Doku Musume. And not only this is a prequel, but Shuso Oshimi actually created the premise and the character of Chishan, who's the main character of that movie. In this manga, we see, um, Shishan is Shishan sort of disappears from school for many years, and one day she just suddenly appears out of the blue in high school, and she starts creating chaos in the school, and she meets up with her uh, her friend, her like childhood friend Yua, and also her Yua's friend Kodai starts saying, "Oh wait, we can have a lot of fun with Shishan, and we're gonna try to help her to get back to school, but she's just completely creepy, and there's something more than just creepiness wrong with Shishan." So it's sort of a origin story for a classic, Japanese horror character. The movie itself and the story itself that Shuso Hoshimi and the director Doku Musume came up with was based on a story, sort of an urban legend that was spread anonymously through internet message boards in 2011. And that's in the movie. We see this newly wed family move into a new home, and all of a sudden they're confronted by this weird, you know, the character girl that lives next door, Chisan, who walks around wearing red, tattered red clothes with scissors in her hands. So yeah, so I love the whole thing. I was looking for, but I don't see that the movie has been available outside of Japan yet. I am very much looking forward to watching the movie, but I also want to read this. So for fans of horror, for fans of Shuso Oshimi, who, like I said, aside from Flower track Blood on the Tracks, Flowers of Evil, he also did Sweet Poolside, and gee, he also wrote Avant-Garde Yumiko, which at one point you kind of talked about, and then Sweet Poolside I talked about. So yeah,
Mm.
we're big fans of Shuzo Oshimi, and like fans of Junji Ito or anything horror, they're gonna love this. There you go. Oh, this is a one shot, obviously. So it's a one shot, this story, and it, like I said, prequel to the movie.
All right, next up we have The Dashing Zaddy and His Icy Protege,
Mhm.
Volume 1. So we have a setting here with a sales division at Isaboshi Trading Company. Is headed by Mr. Takanashi, who is like the firm's top performer, very charismatic, knockout at the age of 40. One of his subordinates is equally hot, cool, but calculating, a 26-year-old named Hiratari. Practically every woman at the company has attempted to steer up office romance with
Mm.
um, the head dude, the head guy, Mr. Takanashi. But this dashing zaddy has a secret. He has erectile dysfunction. Bet you didn't realize I was going to say that. So, meanwhile, we have
What a
Hiratari,
twist!
who meanwhile, Hiratari seems like this scary robot on the outside, but he's actually looked up to Takanashi since working with him in the 4 years that he's worked at the company. And so Hiratara gets a chance to spend the evening with Mr. Takanashi, and he reveals more than he means to. So this is an irresistible love comedy between this hot older man with with the secret that he has, and this cunning underling who becomes this unlikely confidant in his quest to once more. I like this tagline. Uh, just so you know, this is a quest to once more stand proud and erect. So
Yeah,
this is coming out of Kodansha.
very cool. And we continue with Viral Hit Volume 1. This is a webtoon unscroll graphic novel created by author Taejun Park and illustrated by Kim Young Young. And obviously, they're both the creators and illustrator of the original webtoon. An amazing big webtoons hit series, not just in Korea but around the world. That also got an anime adaptation um, last year. Yes, I think yes, last year. But nevertheless, this one I've been waiting for. I became a fan. I gotta admit, I watched the anime first, and then I went and read the webtoon, and instantly became a huge fan of this. The basics of the story, if you just hear the very first couple of lines of what this is, you think it's one thing, but it's definitely more to it. It's this high school student who's been bullied and ends up creating a YouTube channel where he features himself fighting bullies. so he could get go viral and get a lot of money. And you think, oh, okay, so that's what this is gonna be. But there's more to it. There's a lot to this character. I love this character because he's just one of those characters that is extremely an underdog. Nothing goes right for him. It's not just the bullying. There's just everything goes wrong for him. And by chance, it wasn't planned. He there's this video. He took this video of him fighting, confronting one of his bullies in school, uh, one of his classmates, and fighting him, and it becomes an instant hit, like viral, so viral. And then he realized, oh wait, this is the way I can make some money because I need money. So then he starts looking for other bullies and people who are notoriously not just in school but around the town, bullies or people who are scary, so he can become, and he goes viral because other people says like, oh my god, there's this weakling actually not just fighting and taking a lot of taking a beating, but he's actually winning or getting or defending himself. And there's a lot to that. There's a lot to him. There's a mysterious person at the beginning who starts sort of giving him hints of what he needs to do, and very small uh, kind of moves, if we could call him that, that he can do to defend himself and probably win the fights. There's also, you get a lot of background, not just on him, but also on the people who he fights. There's just, it's not just him fighting these uh, people who are just out of the blue bad bullies. There's more to it too. The guy who he first fights, the first fight that goes viral, gets in on it and helps him out. He becomes his cameraman, and they become kind of friends. So it's all very cool the way that these creators tied everything together and made it real. And the other thing you gotta love about this, I talk about the that demon story where the fighting and everything is gonna be very cool and beautiful. This is not that. This is very grounded and realistic. This is Fight Club. This is he gets things wrong all the time. The fights are dirty and not beautiful at all, but it does have a lot of heart in it. So again, it's not when you hear the title viral hit and you hear about what it is and it's about fighting, you do not it's not that. If you're a fan of underdog stories, but not just it's not an overpowered character. It's somebody who's still struggling and struggles through, but also that he kind of you can relate to him, you can relate to his enemy, you can relate to the story, but also it definitely does not paint fighting as a beautiful thing or doesn't paint it in a good way, which is also something to really point out. This is not glorifying fighting at all. So there you go. That's it. That's another one. I'm really, really excited about this one, have it in physical, because I love the webtoon.
I for the next slide, I just wanted to highlight some like non-manga titles, but like manga related still.
Yeah.
So we have these pop manga postcards and pop manga stickerology by Camila de Erco, who is very popular. Probably see her all the time at Comic Con because people just line up to grab her stuff. And so we have this 100 card like postcard box with this with the beautiful artwork from Camilla, and then we have these sticker themed like filled with 250 animal themed stickers that you could put on like laptops and such, water bottles and so forth. And then we have this Tokyo Revengers series guide. Remember You. This is like a compendium packed with art, character profiles. It has information about the Tokyo Revengers universe. It has special extras, some of which I mentioned already. original location designs and that are direct from like the creator or like Wakoi Sensei notes. I am probably pronouncing that incorrectly. But this is just like a definitive guide that fans wouldn't want to miss out on if you're a huge Tokyo Revengers fan. So there was like a this was available in Japan, but it came out as three separate books. So this is like it comprises that material as well together in this compendium.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And then we're going to continue with some other volume ones coming out in the month of April. We're going to start with Faded Not to Meet. This is Izumi, the sales ace, with excellent grades, good looks, and great communication skills, has someone he absolutely cannot lose to. His name is Sendo, the most unlikable man who took the top spot from Izumi. Then we continue with Gaitama, the Giants, number one. This was a runner up for my picks, by the way. I almost picked this one. A giant monster returns to the town it ravaged years earlier in this poignant kaiju manga from the creator of the hit series Colorless. In the spirit of the classic Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One, Gaitama combines thunderous action and character drama with the social conscious and thematic complexity of the genre's post-war roots. Then we continue with Jean Bride, Volume 1, a sci fi drama about a woman sick of workplace misogyny and the man she just happened to be matched with in a middle school experiment. And then we have Kaya Shan Isn't Scary, Volume 1. Are you braver than a kindergartner? Gardener? Find out with this horror manga that takes place in the most unlikely of places and don't miss the upcoming anime.
Continuing on with volume ones, we have Mia-chan Wants to Be Kept, volume one. We have one man who winds up with a perfect woman after a stray cat he took in suddenly transforms into a human. We have My New Boss is Goofy, volume one. This inspired the hit anime. So when Momose changes jobs, he finds that his new boss isn't intimidating, but he's a total airhead. Cool. And then we have Punk's Triangle. A young designer dreams of creating a look for his favorite model, finally gets the chance, unless his class partner screws things up. This is a boys' love rom com about fanboys and hidden identities. And we have River Bay Roadmen's Dormitory Novel Volume 1. And this is the same author of Legend of Exorcism and Dinhai Fusheng Records, for instance. So this comes a modern day romp. One famous director rents out a room to other gay men in the hopes of writing more realistic characters in his novel, but can he get along with these very different men long enough to finish his story?
Very cool. And we continue with Seduced by the Demon King, a sensual rebirth, volume one. I love that the author is Foxy's. And one woman, sorry, finds herself on the receiving end of a demon lord's revenge, but he's going to show her a world of pleasure before sending her into despair. Then we continue with The Long Summer of August 31, Volume 1, from the creator of Amna Meat, also published by Seven Seas. Two teens discover they're stuck in a never ending time loop right at the end of summer vacation. Can a new love reset them? And next up is The Trapped Former Villainess Wants to Escape from a Sadistic Prince, Volume 1. When an office worker is reincarnated into a game as the villainess, she finds herself at the mercy of a sadistic prince. Will she succumb to his will or can she escape her fate? And last on this slide is Virgin Marriage A Maiden Voyage into Passion's Embrace, Volume 1. A newlywed couple discovers the secret of a truly perfect relationship is a good sex life. A brand new steamship title from the author of Love by Two Fiancés and the Yakuza and the Omega, Road Desire.
Continuing on with volume ones, we have Versus Love Volume 1. We have two schools alike in dignity in Fair Japan, where we set the scene. We have a boys' love take on Romeo and Juliet between rival delinquents and their gangs. This is from the creator of Blood Night Market, which is also available from Seven Seas. And then we have this slice of life cozy read, Wash It All Away Volume 1 from Square Enix. This is about an endearing protagonist, has very beautiful art, about a seaside story that offers tranquility in the chaos of the modern world. And then we have We're Not Cut Out to Be Lovers, coming out of Tokyo Pop. This is, we have a neighbor who's this silent mechanic, Kumazawa, and we have Koichi, a streamer who broadcasts about love stories. So Koichi is like compared as this friendly Shibu Inu, and he quickly finds his way into the heart of this tough looking Kumazawa who unconsciously is inviting him. So it's for people who really love like the grumpy sunshine trope of like BL, this is definitely for you.
Yes.
Oh, and then I should have mentioned, let me go back. uh, Before we move forward here, we're going to leave you here with the rest of the list that you can take a look at. But of course, definitely continue watching more so you can take a look at other releases that are coming out in April. As always, Hector and I, we enjoy doing this, so definitely check us out on our other videos on YouTube. And we'll close it out here, but again, stick around for more. Bye, everyone.
Bye.